Hi guys, so Boris Johnson and his goons within the Conservative Party are struggling to defend the fact that a businessman, a billionaire business owner, who's also a Brexiteer and a Conservative Party donor, had direct access to the Prime Minister and was able to put pressure on that Prime Minister to fix some sort of tax issue for him. Now, you have to remember, ordinary members of the public don't have this access. Boris Johnson is the head of the government. He's supposed to represent the people. But ordinary people don't have direct access to the Prime Minister. Why is it that a Conservative Party donor has access to the Prime Minister? You know, a member of the NHS who's struggling at the moment, who has to maybe take their family to a food bank in order to put food on the table. This person doesn't have direct access to the Prime Minister. Wouldn't it be great if they had direct access and asked the Prime Minister, can you give us a bit more than 1% pay rise? No, these people don't have access. You have to be a billionaire Tory party donor in order to gain access to the Prime Minister. But let's hear how Oliver Dowden responded to this. Is it okay in his eyes?
But you've got a really influential businessman here who's a Tory party supporter, who's able to text the most influential and powerful politician in the entire country, and the Prime Minister goes back to that personal text message with, "I will fix it for you tomorrow." Do you feel comfortable with that text correspondence between a huge businessman, an influential businessman who is a Tory party supporter, and the Prime Minister?
Yes, I do.
Yes, I do. I have no problem with this type of corruption. Of course I don't. I'm a Conservative Party member. I'm a member of the government. I have no problem with that. That's great. You know, these people give us money and then we do them favors. They scratch our back, we scratch theirs. That's how ordinary politics works. We don't care about morals or ethics. Pfft, those are for the ordinary public. We don't care about that. James Dyson gave us money. He gave a significant amount of money, so that gave him access directly to the Prime Minister. He wanted a tax issue sorted out. Boris Johnson put pressure on the Chancellor of the Exchequer to sort out his tax issue. That's how politics works.
Party supporter and the Prime Minister.
Yes, I do, for two reasons. First, that we're in the middle of a national emergency.
It was not about the emergency. This was about tax. Now what he's going to do here, of course, is use we were in the middle of an emergency. We needed these ventilators. We needed to access business owners who could make these ventilators. But this was not about the ventilators. The problem was not the ventilators. The problem was the tax issue. How is it possible that a business owner had direct contact with the Prime Minister? There are two problems here. First, how is it possible that a business owner has access to the Prime Minister? And second, why is that business owner putting pressure on the Prime Minister to fix a tax issue that he has? And how is it possible that the Prime Minister is responding by saying, yes, I'm going to sort it out for you, instead of, no, sorry, Mr. Dyson, you have to pay your taxes like everyone else?
Prime Minister was doing this not for his own gain. James Dyson wasn't doing this for his own gain.
Of course he was doing it for his own gain, you friggin' idiot. Look, either Oliver is an idiot or Oliver is a liar. Which is it? Because if he thinks, yeah, James Dyson was asking about, in this text message, he was concerned about the public. He mentioned the tax, but that wasn't the core problem here. The problem was he needed to know from the Prime Minister how many ventilators he needed, or when he needed them. You are asking Boris Johnson in a text message how many ventilators you need. That's not how it works. This was about taxes. This was about, look, I want if you want me to make ventilators, you need to do something for me in return. How patriotic James Dyson was, wasn't it? I'll make some ventilators for the government, but, we have to talk about taxes first. Is this how it works? I'm not saying this is extortion, but it certainly sounds like it. Maybe, please tell me in the comments section if I'm wrong here, but it was James Dyson basically holding these these ventilators hostage until, although I don't know how many ventilators he actually delivered. I don't think he actually delivered any. Did he still get his taxes sorted out, even though perhaps he didn't deliver any ventilators? But do correct me if he did actually deliver ventilators, but I don't think he did.
But doing it in order to ensure that we got these ventilators rapidly in order to ensure that we dealt with a national emergency.
But it's not but even, look, let's say, for the sake of argument, James Dyson delivered 10,000 ventilators and these saved lives. That's not the problem here. The problem is, why is he directly contacting the Prime Minister, and why is he putting pressure on the Prime Minister and indirectly the Chancellor of the Exchequer to sort out a tax issue?
And it was a temporary measure. Secondly, this measure went before Parliament in the proper, transparent way.
Sorry, then why are we only hearing about it now? The procurements go through Parliament, but this communication was not mentioned in Parliament. This was not mentioned officially. We're only hearing about it now. So he's lying here.
There was an opportunity for MPs to be able to approve this very temporary measure. I think in the middle of a national emergency, we had to move fast. And I remember doing interviews like this. You were rightly pushing me and other ministers as to how we could move as rapidly as possible to deal with this national emergency.
But it was not, there was nothing, nobody had asked you to break the law. Nobody had asked you to say, you know, we need to do financial favours for people who have supported the party. We need to prioritise certain people because they have either connections to the party or they have funded the party in some way. That was not a requirement. Nobody, you know, you didn't have any politician come on TV and say, look, we've given these contracts to these people because, well, they've supported the party and we're in a pandemic. No, it was, we're giving these contracts because we need PPE immediately, or we need these ventilators immediately. Look, it's clear to anyone watching this or following this story that James Dyson put pressure on Boris Johnson to sort out some tax issue. Now, it was within the scope of the ventilator delivery. But the ventilators are a side issue. The real issue here is that you had a businessman, a Brexiteer businessman, a Conservative Party donor, have direct access to the Prime Minister, and he was able to put pressure, significant pressure, sufficient pressure, I would even add, on the Prime Minister to put extra pressure on the Chancellor of the Exchequer to fix a tax issue for him. Now, please tell me how that is not corruption. How is that not cronyism? How is that democratic? Ordinary members of the public have no influence over the Prime Minister. They have no access to the Prime Minister. Is it not a problem for people that a businessman, a donor to the party, has direct access to the Prime Minister? And this is the information that we know about. What sort of communications have we never found out about? What sort of communications are taking place between other donors and the Prime Minister that will never see the light of day? Let me know in the comment section, guys, what you think. As always, your comments are greatly appreciated. Thanks a lot. I want to say a big thank you to all of my patrons. You ensure that this channel continues to exist. I'm eternally grateful for all of your support. If you join Patreon, you will receive instant access to our Discord server, where we have both audio and video chats. You can chat with me and other patrons, where we discuss important and non-important issues. Becoming a patron per month costs about the same as a large coffee, so why not check it out?